Hello and good morning and welcome back to New Day. It's time for us to enter our health segment this morning, the Health Club, and we're talking about the veins within the human body, what their functions are, whether they're necessary, and this morning to answer all those questions and more, we have Dr. Bright Redu. Good morning, Doc.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm good.
Good. Doc, first off, could you give us the definition or the main use of what the human veins are?
Okay, to explain this, I always want to compare it to having a water station, which purifies water and then pumps water to the house. So when the water is purified, the station needs pumps to put pressure on the water to move them through the pipes to the house. So that pump is the heart, which beats, and then it pumps the blood to the tissues or the body.
Okay.
So the pipes that take the water from the station to the house are called arteries.
Okay.
After you use the water in the house, then the station takes the water back and then recycles it. So it purifies the water.
Okay.
So the pipes that return the water from the house to the station, so returning blood from the body back to the heart, are called the veins.
Okay.
So veins are basically vessels that return blood which has been pumped into the body, from the body back to the heart.
Okay.
For it to be pumped back.
All right. And what are the well, I was going to say the functions because obviously you've just explained that. Yeah. But what are the types of veins that we have then?
Well, basically, when we want not to be too scientific, but the veins are like a structure that's in continuity with each other. So you have the bigger veins and then the smaller veins.
Okay. And
then when it gets to where the exchange occurs, you have very, very fine ones. Okay, so basically these are unless you want to name particular veins in the body.
Okay, but there's
like a river,
different types of veins.
As it travels through the country, at each station it has a different name.
Okay.
You know, like from Burkina to maybe down south.
You.
Yeah.
All right. Now, in regards to, I mean, you said that it was like a purification. Once the blood has been purified, sent back through these tubes. Now, is there any chance of anything bad coming through these tubes, the veins as well?
Oh yeah, we have problems that occur with the pathologies of the venous system. One of the common ones that doctors quite get concerned about is the vein being blocked.
Okay.
Yeah, and we call that one DVT, deep vein thrombosis.
Right.
It occurs when the deep veins in the limbs get blocked, and the blood can clot inside the vein, and when that happens, it can dislodge. So you have the vein is like a tube, and have blood flowing through the tube, and when it clots,
when there's a blockage,
the blood clots inside the tube, it can dislodge, and as it moves, the smaller this is how the body is structured. The veins that come from below are smaller, and as they get closer to the heart, they expand.
They get bigger.
It's like a river and its tributaries. Yeah, so as it goes through bigger veins, it starts to fold on itself. It can become like a ball, something like that.
Wow.
And then it can block somewhere in the lungs or in the heart, and then that gives a huge problem. So this is one of the biggest problems we have with the venous system.
All right. A common question that's always asked is that how come we're able to see veins through the skin? Sometimes you actually just see the tube itself, but sometimes you actually see coloration. Some people it's blue, some people, you see alternate colors. Why is that?
Yeah, we have veins under the skin. The subcutaneous tissue has got veins there, and I think it's a blessing that God designed the body like that, because it gives us access to easily assess the veins when people are in shock or they are bleeding, and we have to put in IV fluids, or as people call them, drips. So we can easily puncture the veins and then insert a tube and then run fluids. So that's why we can see them, because they are underneath the skin.
Okay, now here's another one for you, because sometimes there's medication that can be taken orally or can be injected. They say injection works faster and more efficient. Is that true, and why?
Oh yeah, usually that's the case, because if you have to take a medication orally, it has to go through the intestines, get absorbed into the blood, and then sometimes it takes a while for that to happen, and then sometimes part of it is metabolized in a way. So depending on the formulation you are looking at, some medications cannot be taken orally. It's a no-no. If that, it will not be absorbed through the intestines or is broken down. Some medications must go into the vein straight, and also when you put the medication into the vein straight, you have what we call almost 100% bioavailability. That's the amount of the medication that goes into the blood, makes its way into the bloodstream. Sometimes by going through absorption, part is broken down, part is digested, it will pass to the liver. The liver will, though some medications are like that, and sometimes in particular conditions we prefer to give the IVs first when the patient is critical, and then later on when they are recovering and you have to go home, they continue on the oral. Okay.
Now from everything you told us, the veins are very, very important for us to keep our immune systems and body functionality. The same way we check on our heart, we check on our lungs, all the rest of it. How can we check on our veins?
Well, checking on the vein is not something that routinely we do, but it generally is part of the circulation. One of the things that people can do is sometimes you have common problems with the vein is when you have varicose veins. Those are tortuous, dilated veins. Sometimes you can see them, usually behind the knee or on the legs. And sometimes people have got swollen limbs, and all these may indicate problems with the veins, the venous system. But when you have one leg which is swollen, and maybe you are a bit overweight, you use contraceptives, or you had a surgery, these things may indicate that there's a problem with the vein, maybe blood clotting inside the veins in the legs. And these are the things but having routine check on veins is not something that we do. Even in clinical practice, doctors don't really check veins as part of clinical examination, but we do check your arteries for your pulse. Sometimes we may check the pulse in the arteries in the legs, but checking veins is not really something.
Okay, now you mentioned varicose veins and those that protrude above the skin. Commonly, it is quite common. You can see them on quite a few people in your day-to-day interactions. Is that always a sign that there's a problem with the veins?
Well, varicose vein itself is a problem with the veins. So if you see varicose veins, it means there's something, and it can progress and deteriorate. So it must be addressed in the early stages. And there are several ways of dealing with these problems. Sometimes it becomes so bad that some of them can actually rupture and bleed. You can have bleeding varicose veins. And then you may have to apply some pressure and manage it. So when it starts, one needs to see a doctor to check and follow it up.
Okay. Now, obviously, we've established the fact that the veins carry the blood from the heart and all around the body. What's the extreme of if one of these veins is cut?
Well, having a cut vein is not as dangerous as having a cut artery, because the artery has higher pressure. The heart is pumping blood through the artery. If you have a cut artery, it can be quite deadly. It depends on the artery you cut, the wrist, the carotid over here. But a cut vein is not that bad, because these veins are low pressure vessels. They're returning blood to the heart, and you can apply gentle pressure, and it will occlude the unless of course you hit the big veins inside the chest, or bigger veins in the groin region. But it's not as deadly as having a cut artery.
Okay, so Doc, just before we do wrap up, the general public out there, we see our veins daily. Some are big, some are small. What are the things that we should be looking out for in regards to keeping our veins healthy to assist the natural blood flow?
Oh, keeping our that's quite a funny question. But keeping our veins healthy, basically, the veins work together with the arteries and the heart, together the cardiovascular system. So therefore, a general healthy lifestyle would be good for all of us, because you hardly have isolated problems. When it's a problem with the heart, it hits the whole system. Problem with the arteries, it hits the whole system. So general healthy lifestyle, exercise, low fat diets, and then less smoking of cigarette. And also we need to wash. If you have a problem, leg swelling, these things must be checked, because sometimes people have got clotted blood in their veins, and that can be quite deadly. And then also people who travel for longer distances, we need to get down and move their
let the circulation keep going.
Because sometimes a friend told me that a colleague doctor told me that they traveled from here to Tamale in a bus, and when they arrived, a young woman got out of the car and just collapsed. And they thought it was a DVT. She had clotted and then removed it. So people need to get out and exercise. If you're in an airplane,
let the blood circulate.
People going to like China, you need to just move your. I think they even do tell people that
they advise.
So that's one of the things I want to send out to people. And those with varicose veins would have to see doctors to check it out for them, because sometimes they can get really bloody. All
right. Thank you very much, Dr. Bright Ray.